Alright, what's up guys? NinjaDeathStrike here, bringing you my very first match with boundaries crossed. It'll probably come as no surprise to a lot of you that first deck I'm going to showcase is the newest one, the newest big deck to come out of the format, Blastoise Keldeo. Usually I try and put the first video of a new set up with the most hyped deck, so this is going to be no exception. I've tried as hard as I could to get some matches for this week. Unfortunately, due to my birthday celebrations, I was pretty busy over the weekend, didn't get to play as much as I'd like to, so these matches are maybe not quite the best, but at least they're against real decks, or this one is, which is something that, I mean, I played for like 2 hours, and this is the only remotely acceptable match that I took. So it's not going to be my best upload ever, but at least it's going to show off some new stuff. So my opponent is playing Landorus Garbage, which is actually, I think, shaping up to be a pretty strong deck. I've tested it a little bit. I still need to work on my list. But it's not a bad deck by any means. So it looked like a real deck, and then he pulls out Psyduck. I don't know. I don't know what Psyduck's doing in there. I guess it's his counter to opposing Landorus, because Golduck can do 90 for 2 waters, which would be enough to take out an opposing Landorus EX. So maybe that's what's going on here. But he gets to go first. He gets that turn 1 Hammerhead, which is so strong. And we see Squirtle's ability come into play, his Shell Armor, or whatever it is, Shell Shield, I think, maybe. Prevents him from taking bench damage, which is kind of a big deal. On my turn, I do decide to bench that Keldeo, just so I have it in play. It was a little early since I'm definitely not getting a Blastoise anytime soon, but I do get the cards for a pretty quick Blastoise. I have that computer search, which obviously just lets you discard 2 cards and search for any card you want. And on top of that, I have a Skyla. So I have a turn 2 Blastoise in my hand right now, as long as I don't get End, which, if you watch my videos, means, of course, I will immediately. So he gets his Garbodor up on turn 2. That's going to be a problem. I think he put an experience share on it, and that's not the ideal tool to have, but it is going to shut down my powers. That means I can't rush in with Keldeo. I can't use Rain Dance, or what's it called? It's not Rain Dance anymore. It starts with a D, I think. Deluge. Can't use Deluge with Blastoise, so I gotta take that guy out ASAP. Fortunately for me, I've managed to hit my only 2 DCEs. So I'm just gonna go aggro Mewtwo instead of actually playing the deck that I built. Yeah, decide not to waste the water energy. Just go ahead, put down the DCE, and now I can computer search. I'll probably get rid of that super scoop up and the water, and grab a Blastoise, and then I can use Skyla to get my rare candy. So I'm going to get a turn 2 Blastoise. You can see both of our decks set up right away, which is always nice. You know, it's nice to play an actual game against an opposing deck rather than one person just drawing dead for the entire game. But I think he just wasn't ready to handle Blastoise, which is a really stupid mistake to make, because everyone is going to be playing it. It's the new thing. Yeah, so he only benched 1 Trubbish, which means I'm just able to catch her up and obliterate Garbodor with Mewtwo. Another great reason to play Mewtwo in this deck. As good as Garbage Man is, I think having Skyla in the format really hurts him, because it's going to mean finding the catchers to kill him is a lot easier. You know, Darkrai handles him pretty well, and obviously Blastoise is always going to be playing Mewtwo, so Mewtwo takes him out pretty quickly. And now that I've taken out his key to his deck, I just have to kill these Landorses, which is not a big deal for Blastoise. Obviously, I have the type advantage. That's going to make it very easy. 3 energy on a Keldeo will just wipe any Landorus off the board, regardless of Eviolite or not. It's going to do 110 base, which will put it at 220. More than enough to kill any Landorus. So he is going to catcher up Keldeo here, which is not a bad move. Since I only have 1 on the bench, it means that I can't rush in when I'm already stuck active. So that was actually the right play on his part. Hammerhead doesn't really matter where he spreads the damage, so catching up the Keldeo was a good attempt to stall. Unfortunately for him, I had the Juniper in my hand, and I hit 2 water energy, so that is going to be the 3 energy I needed to start destroying these Landorus. I might play the Heavy Ball just to thin out my deck. I don't really need to play anything else at this point. I only play a 1-of Heavy Ball just because with Skyla in the format, if you don't know what Skyla does, it lets you search your deck for any trainer card and put it into your hand. It makes 1-of trainers really, really strong, and so having something like Heavy Ball in my deck means that if I have a rare candy, I can just Skyla for the Heavy Ball as opposed to being forced to go for the Ultra Ball and discard 2 cards. So I think things like Heavy Ball, Level Ball, and Energy Search are all really strong techs right now just because of Skyla. I'm surprised some people don't give Skyla the recognition I think it deserves. It's an amazing card, especially for anything that wants to play guys that evolve. If you tech your deck right, it just lets you pick any one card out of your deck, which I don't see how that's not good. It's such a clutch card. And obviously played a big role here in getting me my Blastoise. So he's going to try and stall and build up for a Land's Judgment, which would be able to take out my Keldeo. You notice he switched into his other Landorus and attached the second energy to the one on the bench, but I have another catcher, so that's not going to happen. Just catcher it up and take it out. Now I'm down to 1 prize, and he's got nothing going for him. The biggest problem with Landorus for me is lack of energy acceleration. Obviously, we were supposed to get Ether in the set, but we didn't, and I think that really weakens him, which is fine. It gives setup decks like Blastoise a chance, as opposed to just Landorus kills everything, which isn't a really fun deck. But anyhow, yeah, we both set up, but I think my deck was just built to kill his. He didn't have any plan for Blastoise at all, which ended up being his downfall. So hopefully you guys liked the first match. Thumbs up if you did. Leave me a comment about whatever with boundaries crossed. Let me know which decks you're liking, and I will have more matches coming your way shortly. Thanks for watching, guys.